It's time for Kitchen Confessions with Lorella. Before we get into today's kitchen confession, I want to talk to you about a fun challenge I have been tagged in by Jim's In Town Gardening. Super great channel. Please go check him out. Really knowledgeable guy. This challenge is to name the 5 things that bring you to YouTube. The first thing that I'm going to be checking out when I sit down and I open up and I'm scrolling through my subscribed channels or my homepage is I'm looking for people who can speak knowledgeably about the subject that they're talking about. So what does that mean? Am I only looking at experts in the field? Am I only looking at people who have gone to years and years of college? No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is I want someone who has really dived in and they've either practiced a lot of their craft or they've learned a lot and they can speak about it and explain it in a way that I can understand. As a non-practitioner, as somebody outside of their field, can they explain what they're talking about to me in a way that makes me go, oh yeah, okay, I get that. That's what I'm looking for. The second thing that brings me to YouTube is content that is specific to one subject per video. For example, I want to know that when I come to you and your video says biggest carrots ever, that video is going to be about carrots and I'm going to learn how to grow carrots better. I'm going to learn what you did that made you grow this gigantic carrot. A little bit of variation is okay, but I don't want to see biggest carrot ever and then the whole video be about your new tractor and then the last like 5 seconds is one carrot. The third thing that I'm looking for when I come to YouTube is a little bit of entertainment. And sometimes I watch videos that are not homesteading, gardening, and animal husbandry. Just pure entertainment.
Come on.
The fourth thing that brings me to YouTube, and might be the most important one, is the sense of community. I love that there are other people out there who are leaving the city and heading to the farm and growing and raising their own food, and then we can talk to each other no matter where in the world we are. It's an amazing day that we live in, that I can be friends with Liz Zorab in the UK and on a daily basis talk to her and look at her videos and see what she's growing and leave comments, and she can advise me and I can learn from her, and that we can have true collaboration like that with people all over the planet is absolutely amazing. And the real relationships that have developed out of this community is wonderful. And it's also nice to be able to see other people's channels and go, oh, okay, we share some of the same struggles, we have some of the same values, and to connect with people that outside of YouTube, it's likely I would have never met them in real life. So that is the fourth reason that I come to YouTube. And the fifth reason that I come to YouTube is not so much about what I'm looking for when I'm viewing YouTube, but it's about me as a creator. I enjoy telling my story. I enjoy sitting down after working in the garden and saying, this is what went right, this is what went wrong, what should I do about it? I like being able to be in front of the camera and talk to you like this. It's kind of fun. I enjoy it. So what are the 5 things that bring you to YouTube? If you have a channel of your own and you would like to make a video talking about the 5 reasons that you come to YouTube, I would love that. Consider yourself tagged. If you don't have a channel that produces content and you would just like to leave it in the comments down below, I would love to hear, what are you looking for when you come to YouTube? I think this is really interesting. It will help us as creators know what our viewers want to see. So I think that that's a really good idea, and I'm really glad that Jim tagged me in this collaboration. And before I end it, I do want to tag specifically Angie from Pine Brook Homestead. She's in East Texas, homesteading on 2 acres. She's married and has 5 boys. That's a busy household. She's already got rabbits, chickens, I think maybe pigs, a garden, ducks. She's doing it all. And so she's only been YouTubing about a year. Hop on over to her channel, check her out, subscribe. And Angie, what are the 5 things that bring you to YouTube? Let's get back and see what was I going to confess. I'm sitting here in front of my oven And I have something to confess. And it's not that I don't clean it often enough, which is true. It's not that I don't cook from scratch enough. I do pretty good with that. I buy dried fruit at the grocery store every week. Every single week. So I've toyed with the idea of getting a dehydrator. I have even looked at different models. I've watched comparison videos. So here's my confession, guys. My oven has a built-in dehydrator. How can I even think about buying a dehydrator if I have one sitting in my kitchen that I've never even tried? That's just ridiculous, right? So today's job is to get out the manual. I found the dehydrate section. Let's see what it says. Press the dehydrate pad. Press the number pads for the desired temperature between 100 and 175 degrees. Press start. While I'm waiting for everyone else to get home, I'm going to go ahead and try and making some kale chips. And I'm going to add about a tablespoon of sunflower oil. Maybe another tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil. Okay, so these are fairly well coated. I've just sprayed a little bit of nonstick spray on it. No, not ready yet. They're getting there. Still have some that aren't dry all the way. That's looking pretty good. I can eat this whole pan. I'm back in the kitchen today, going to try my hand at dehydrating again, and this time we've got apples. I love apples. I love the smell of them, the taste of them. Apple cider, apple pie, apple crisp. I cannot wait until I have an apple tree of my own so that I can make all the apple goodness, all the apple things with apples from our own tree. I am putting the apple slices into the vinegar and water, and this is just going to help keep them from browning during this process. I'm trying to cut these as evenly as I can, but I'm not a machine. I'm a person with a knife, and I'm not a professional chef. Have you seen the way those chefs cut things? They're like, I'm not, that's not me. I'm more of a chop, chop. Do the best I can to get them even, but they're not gonna be even for sure. It's now a couple days later, and we had to take the apples out of the oven so I could bake dinner the other night. Then I turned it back on. Then when I left, I turned it off. Then I turned it back on again. I have no idea how long they've been in here. I'm just going plainly by how they look. Now that I have the apples dehydrated, I'm going to close the jar loosely, and I'm going to do it with a paper towel so that there's still some airflow. That way, if there's any moisture left, it can just evaporate. Every couple days, I'll come by, give it a shake. Probably do that for about a week, and then I would either seal them up tightly in some method to store them long term. However, I don't think these are going to last a whole week. I like apples way too much. I spend a lot of time in the car driving around to my interpreting jobs. I have started packing a lot of dried fruit and nuts to eat in the car, and today I am enjoying dried apples that I made myself. And I would like to say those dried apples are probably the best dried apples I've ever had. And it probably has nothing to do with the fact that they have fewer chemicals and additives. It probably has everything to do with the fact that I made it myself. This has been a week-long learning process for me. I didn't think about the fact that when I'm using my oven as a dehydrator, we might need it to bake things like meals or cookies.
What I'm not thrilled about is you tying up the oven all night on kale chips when it's cookie night.
So I think in future, if I use the oven as a dehydrator, I'll probably start really early on a Saturday morning when I know I'm going to be home all day and I can just keep an eye on it. I did notice that I started with a big, huge bag of apples, and I ended up with about a quart of dried apples. So I don't know that it's going to be cost effective, that it's going to save me any money to do it on my own rather than to just buy the dried fruit at the store. I think for sure when we have our own fruit trees, I will do a lot more dehydrating because I love dried fruit and it will store for a long time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more content like this, be sure and subscribe. I moved my family from the city to the farm 5 years ago to lead a more organic life with closer ties to our food and our land. If I can do this, you can do this. Thank you for watching. See you next time the rooster crows.